You are 34. You live in a minimalist studio in Mountain View. The sun hasn't risen yet. Your Whoop strap buzzes against your skin. You check the app immediately. 94% recovery. A green circle of validation. You feel a surge of dopamine. This data is more important than your bank balance. You haven't missed a day in 3 years. You track everything, every breath, every heartbeat, every movement. Your body is no longer a temple, it is a data set. You are the lead analyst. The cost is high. $500 for the membership, $400 for the ring. But the data doesn't lie. You are a well-oiled machine. You walk to the kitchen. The marble counter is a pharmacy. There are 40 capsules waiting for you. You line them up like soldiers. This is your morning liturgy. You start with the basic vitamins, then you reach for the metformin. You don't have diabetes, you have an obsession. You read an MIT technology review that it mimics the effects of fasting. It slows the aging of your cells. You swallow it with alkaline water. You spend $1,200 a month on this custom stack. It's the price of entry. Each capsule is a tiny insurance policy against the grave. The math is simple. 1 pill for 1 extra hour of life. The deal is worth it. At the Google campus, you are the health guy. You stand at your desk. You wear blue light blocking glasses. You explain cellular autophagy to your manager. You tell him about the sleep study from last month. You explain that every hour of deep sleep is a year added to the end. He looks tired. You look like a statue. But deep down, you are terrified. You are doing everything right. And yet, you are still aging. You look at your Aura ring. Your biological age is 29. But your birth certificate says otherwise. You are winning the battle, but you are losing the war. You need more than vitamins. Level 1 is just basic maintenance. It's for the masses who have money but no vision. You realize that pills and rings aren't enough. You're just a well-maintained mortal. You see your reflection in the glass of the office. You see the faint lines around your eyes. The metformin isn't working fast enough. You need something more. You need to stop being a customer. You need to become an architect. Your first job wasn't to live forever, it was to learn how to pay for it. The real game is played in the cells, and you are finally ready to enter the lab. The supplements were just the tutorial. You realize that now. Vitamins are for the masses who want to feel healthy. You want to be optimized. You book a flight to a private clinic in Mexico City. The facility doesn't have a sign. It's hidden behind a wall of glass and security. You aren't here for a vacation. You are here for a hardware upgrade. You meet a doctor with no name badge. He doesn't talk about wellness. He talks about cleaning the house. He means senolytic therapy. This isn't on the FDA's approved list, but it is on Peter Thiel's investment portfolio. Unity Biotechnology is betting billions on this science. You are betting your life. The wire transfer is $25,000. It's a drop in the bucket for a new start. Your first injection isn't a cure. It's a chemical strike. They put you on a cold table. The room smells like ozone and expensive soap. They explain the science of your own decay. Your body is full of zombie cells. Scientists call them senescent cells. They don't die, they just sit there. They poison the healthy neighbors. You read about this in Nature last week. The senolytics go in through an IV. They are like targeted missiles. They find the zombies. They delete the files. You feel a strange chill in your veins. It isn't pain. It's the feeling of a system reboot. You think about the legal risk back in the States. You could be an outlier. You could be a miracle. You only think about the clock. You are buying years back from the Reaper. The recovery takes 3 days in a dark room. You stay in a suite overlooking the city. You look at your face in the mirror on day 4. The inflammation is gone. Your joints have stopped clicking. You move like a 20-year-old athlete. You feel like a high-performance engine. But then, the twitch starts in your left hand. The doctor says it's a standard biological price. He says the system is adjusting to the new code. You aren't just a patient anymore. You are a prototype. Every prototype has bugs. You fly back to San Francisco. You look at the people in the airport. They look like rotting fruit. They are letting their zombies win. You're the architect of your own survival. The bonuses have a price list. You learn that quickly in the underground circles. $60,000 for stem cell infusions in Colombia. $100,000 for customized peptide sequences. The American healthcare system is for the dying. This world is for the living. You start a secret spreadsheet for your experimental expenses. You track every dose and every spasm. The twitch becomes your secret badge of honor. It's a small price for cellular clarity. You are part of an elite club now. We don't wait for permission from the government. We don't wait for the law. We wait for the next breakthrough. The next one is deeper. It's in the marrow. You are 45. You are standing on a balcony in Venice Beach. The Pacific Ocean looks endless, but your life isn't. You have reached the limits of pills and Mexico labs. You need the high-octane fuel. You walk into the clinic. It's white. It's silent. It's the headquarters of Project Blueprint. You're here for the exchange. You aren't looking for a donor on the street. You brought your own. Your son is 19. He has the perfect blood. He has the plasma of a god. You pay the technician $10,000. He doesn't ask questions. He just prepares the tubes. This is the new family tradition. The first time you see the red bag, it changes you. It isn't just blood, it's time in liquid form. You sit in a leather chair, your son sits next to you. You watch his vitality leave his arm. You watch it enter yours. This is multigenerational plasma exchange. It's the ultimate transfer of wealth. You feel the heat in your chest. Your brain fog vanishes in seconds. You are literally absorbing his youth. 1 liter of young plasma equals 6 months of peak biological output. The math of death is being recalculated. You look at your son. He looks slightly pale. You look like you could run a marathon. The price is high, but the results are undeniable. The first time you see your target in the mirror, it changes something. You don't see a father. You see a survivor. People call this the vampire protocol. They talk about ethics in the coffee shops. You talk about longevity in the boardrooms. You are part of the elite. You are the 0.01% who realize that aging is a disease and diseases have cures. You think about Brian Johnson. He spends $2 million a year on this. You are spending more. You are buying the only thing that matters. You are buying the ability to stay in the game. You are a predator of the future. You are hunting the seconds. After the exchange, you walk through Hollywood. You see the actors. They use Botox. They use filters. You use the code of life. You feel a strange disconnect. You are no longer relatable to the people on the street. They are fading. You are blooming. You realize that mortality is a choice for the poor. You are choosing the alternative. But the blood is a temporary patch. It wears off. The zombie cells return. The clock starts ticking again. You need to reach deeper. You need to go into the nucleus. You need to rewrite the instructions of your existence. The blood was just the beginning. The DNA is the end game. The system is designed to keep you on the track. You buy the blood, you buy the time, then you do it again. It's a loop, but a loop isn't immortality. It's just a long delay. You see your son leaving the clinic, he is your legacy, but he is also your pharmacy. You feel a cold chill. It isn't the air conditioning, it's the realization of what you have become. You are a ghost inhabiting a young man's vitality. You are a parasite of the future, but you aren't stopping. You are moving to the final level. You're going to change the code. You're going to live forever, regardless of the cost. The blood was a patch. You realize the loop is for the desperate. You want the source code. You are 62, but you don't look it. You're sitting in a private lounge in Los Altos. This isn't a clinic. It's an institute. There are no signs on the door. You meet the architects of the future. They don't talk about wellness. They talk about Altos Labs. They talk about $3 billion of Jeff Bezos' money. This isn't just about medicine. It's about biological reprogramming. They don't want to fix you. They want to reset you. The price list has changed. It's $2 million per session. You sign the wire transfer. You don't even blink. You are buying the right to never rot. Your first session isn't a recovery, it's a rewrite. They put you in a sterile chamber. It feels like a tomb, but it's an incubator. They use CRISPR tech to enter your system. It's a targeted strike on your DNA. They are turning off the genes that kill you. They're turning on the genes that keep you young. You feel a hum in your bones. It's the sound of 4 billion years of evolution being edited. You aren't just a patient. You are a prototype for a new species. The tech deletes the error of age. It overwrites the decay of time. You aren't human anymore. You are a biological immortal. The first time you see your new skin changes everything. You wake up on the 5th day. You walk to the mirror. The brown spots are gone. The deep lines are smooth. Your skin looks like porcelain. You look 25, but you have 60 years of greed in your head. You touch your face. It feels cold. It feels perfect. You read about this in nature. They call it cellular rejuvenation. You call it victory. You are the elite of the elite. You have escaped the cycle of life. You have bypassed the grave. You are the biological immortality Bezos dreamed of. You are the ghost in a perfect machine. Immortality isn't a gift. It's a rank. You return to Silicon Valley. You walk into your office. Your employees look like ghosts. They are gray. They are tired. They are dying. You look at them with disgust. They are running on the old code. You are running on the rewrite. You feel a strange sense of power. You can wait them out. You can wait everyone out. You have all the time in the world. But the silence starts to get loud. You realize you are alone at the top. Your friends are aging. Your family is fading. You are the only one who stayed behind. You are a god in a cemetery. Sombra isn't your apprentice. He's your replacement. You remember that phrase from the old world. But here, the replacement is you. You realize your mind is the only thing left that is old. You need to digitize the thoughts. You need to upload the soul. The biological immortal is just the vessel. You look at your hands. They are young. They are strong, but they feel like someone else's. You have the time, but you don't have the connection. You are ready for the final step. You are ready to leave the flesh. The rewrite is absolute. The deal is finished. You are now the master of the clock. You are 80 years old by the calendar. You are 25 by the blood, but the brain is still the bottleneck. You reach for the final upgrade. This is the neural lace. Elon Musk promised this decades ago. Now it's a reality. Neuralink isn't for the paralyzed anymore. It's for the eternal. They drill a small hole. They weave the threads into your cortex. You don't feel pain. You feel a massive expansion. Your memories are no longer fragile. They are backed up to the cloud. You are a digital twin in a biological shell. The cost was every remaining scrap of your humanity. The system doesn't just record, it filters. It identifies the patterns of anxiety. It labels them as dead weight. One by one, your failures are erased. The time you went bankrupt in your 20s. The day your father died in that hospital. The system replaces these with peace, a manufactured synthetic peace. You are no longer a person of history. You are a person of the present, a permanent, unchanging present. You are a ghost inhabiting a masterpiece. You have won the war against death, but you lost the person who was fighting it. You stand in your penthouse in San Francisco. You look at the mirror. The face looking back is flawless. It is the result of Altos Labs and $3 billion. But you don't recognize the eyes. Sombra isn't your apprentice. He's your replacement. You realize the entity in the mirror is Sombra. It is the version of you that doesn't feel fear. It is the version that doesn't need to sleep. You aren't the one living forever. You are just the bridge. The original you died somewhere between the blood exchange and the genetic rewrite. You are a simulation running on a perfect supercomputer. This was the American dream. We wanted to own the land. Then we wanted to own the market. Finally, we wanted to own the clock. You are the richest man in history because you have infinity. But infinity is a cold, empty room. You look at your hands. They are smooth. They are young. They feel like plastic. The clock has stopped. You are still here. But who are you? Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.